Ashish, can you respond?
Now your voice is clear.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So here channelization. So this is another mechanism of deciding which device should be allowed to access the media. When the media is shared, okay, when the media is shared, so how to decide who can send the data? Okay, how to decide who can send the data at that particular time, who can access the media among these set of devices. So in that case, we have already discussed two types. One is random access protocol and controlled access protocol. So now we'll move on to channelization protocol. So here channelization means it is with respect to the channel. Okay, what is the mechanism used is the channel methods, channel access methods. So if you recall, like in case of multiplexing, how data is transmitted, what are the techniques it is used, is it sending only single signal at a time or multiple signals at a time, how, what is the concept it is implemented. In the same way here channelization protocol is implemented. So here channelization is a multi-access method. Okay, multi-access means multiple device can send the data at the same time. Multiple access can be allowed in channelization. So the available bandwidth of the link is shared between different station in time. Okay, so whatever the link it is there, no, this can be shared between these devices in terms of time. Okay, it can go with a time slot. Okay, it is going to make a time slot. Each time slot can be allocated to one of the device, and that particular device can make use of complete capacity of the channel to send the data only that period of slot time, or it may go with the frequency. Frequency method means, so whatever the channel it is there, okay, that is divided into a different frequencies, and each frequency is allocated to a particular device, and that device can make use of this channel to send the data. That means available bandwidth is divided among the set of devices. So that is using frequency method. And we have one more new method called code. Okay, using coding method it is possible to send the data. Okay, accordingly there are three types of channelization protocol. One is called FDME. Okay, so this is very very important. Most of the time they asked in the question paper, explain channelization protocol. Okay, you have to explain these three. One is FDMA, that is frequency division multiple access. Frequency division, don't get confused with FDM. Okay, that is frequency division multiplexing. This is access, multiple access. Okay, frequency division multiple access. And TDM indicates time division multiple access. CDMA stands for code division multiple access. Okay, we'll just discuss these methods, how it works. So the available band in case of the FDM, the first method is FDM, that is frequency division multiple access. So in this method, the available bandwidth is divided into frequency bands. So if you have recalled during multiplexing, if this is the bandwidth of the channel, okay, so it is divided into multiple frequencies, and each frequency is allocated to each of the device to send the data. Okay, each station can send the data in the allocated band. Band is nothing but the frequency. Each station also uses the band pass filter to confine the transmitter frequencies. Okay, whatever the band here it is using, it is called band pass filter to specify that the particular frequency is only allowed in that particular band or the frequency. To prevent interference, a small guard bands are used to separate the allocated band from one another. So if you have studied FDM, FDA, FDM, okay, you can understand all these terms. Okay, that is guard band. What is guard band? So in between there is a small frequency, it is left out, it is not going to be allocated to any of the device. So this is to avoid interference, because here also the signal is passing. Okay, here also if signal is passing, there may be possibility of interference, these two signal may get interfere. So to avoid that, so small amount of frequency is left out to separate these two frequency band. and this is called as guard band. So this is going to avoid the interference. So this is called as guard band. Okay, this is a mechanism used in FDM. So that is, in FDM, the available bandwidth of common channel is divided into bands that are separated by guard band. So this is an example you can remember. So let me just show you the diagram how it works. You can just observe. Very simple diagram. Just observe what I am explaining. Okay, this is a channel. Okay, this is a channel through which the data should be sent. Now how this channel should be shared. So according to FDMA, so this channel is divided into different frequencies, different bands, and each band is allocated to a particular device. You can just observe there is station 1, and station 1 also want to send the data. This is station 2, 3, and there are 4 stations connected to the common channel. So now which device should be allowed to send the data? So according to frequency division multiple access, all devices can send the data at the same time simultaneously, only using the allocated band. Okay, station 1 is allowed to access this particular band, the first frequency whatever it is shown in this diagram. Then similarly, station 2 is allocated with this second frequency, okay, through which it has to send the data, and station 4, it is going to make use of this band, okay, and station 3 is making the third band to transmit the data. Okay, now in case if all these three devices sending the data, you can just see how the signal looks in the channel. Okay, so how, what are the frequencies these devices going to use? Okay, this is for station 1, this is for 2, this is for station 3 and 4. At the same time, all the 4 stations can start sending the data using the allocated band. Okay, so this is the concept used in FDMA. So here the frequency or the available bandwidth is shared among all the devices which are connected to the channel. Okay, so this is a simple technique. Just you need to remember what is FDM and this simple diagram. Okay, and just know the difference between this FDM and FDA and FDM. So FDM stands for frequency division multiple access. FDM, that is with respect to multiplexing. Okay, don't get confused. So next I will move on to the second method called TDM. So TDM stands for time division multiple access. Time division multiple access. That means here whatever the time it is available, that is divided into number of slots, and each slot is allotted to a particular station, and the station can send the data only during that time slot. Okay, the station share the bandwidth of the channel in time. Example, okay, if this is the time, consider this is the first slot allocated to some particular device, this is second time slot, third, fourth, okay, like this it goes on. So whichever the device want to send the data, particular time slot is allotted. So that particular station can send the data only during this time slot. Then after this time slot over, it has to stop sending. Then device 2 is allowed to send the data. Okay, so this is how the time slot is formed. So each station can send the data in the allocated time slot only. Okay, so this is a diagram. Just you can see for all the three methods we are using the same diagram, but only the changes with respect to the channel. Okay, before it was divided into different frequency. Now it is divided into time. X axis always indicates time information. Y axis indicates frequency. You can just go back and see the diagram, the same diagram. So here the division takes place with respect to different frequencies. Okay, that is in FDMA. So in TDMA, it is with respect to time slot. Okay, the first slot is allocated to the station 1, second slot is allocated to the station 3. What is the meaning of slot? It is some duration of time through which only during that time this station is allowed to send the data. Okay, no other station. Similarly 3, you can just see this is time slot for station 3 and this is time slot for station 4. Okay, and you can just observe here, maybe not all the stations are sending the data. So here station 1 it is sending the data, 2 is also sending, but 3 is here it is represented as silent. So silent indicates that means so this device is not sending any data. Okay, it is silent, it is not performing any transmission. So device or station 4 it is sending the data. Okay, the diagrams are very important. So you need to write the diagram, proper diagrams. So here what is the main problem with the TDMA? So achieving synchronization between two different stations, that is each station needs to know the beginning of its time slot and location of its time slot. Okay, what is the challenge here is, so all the devices should know when exactly its own time slot starts. Okay, so what is the technique should be used to inform the station that when its time slot starts and ends? So that is going to be a little bit difficult because of if there is no proper synchronization among the station. Okay, with respect to time information, it is difficult to go with the TDMA. So this may be difficult because of propagation delay introduced in the system. Okay, so propagation delay because you may be expected to complete data transmission with this time. So due to propagation delay, it may be not possible to complete the data transmission within the given time. So if it is not transmitted within the given time, within the propagation time, if the data is not reached, what happens? Sometimes it may lead to collision. Okay, so it may lead to collision. Okay, so now to compensate this, what is the solution is like how we have used guard band between the frequencies. Similarly, here it's possible to introduce guard times. That means in each time slot, you can leave some interval of time before the next slot starts. So by doing that, so this problem can be solved. The propagation delay can be solved. So normally synchronization is accomplished by having some synchronization bits at the beginning of each slot. Okay, so this is the second technique. So one is using inserting the guard times. That is, you can just assume like this. Go back to the previous diagram. Can you see here there is a in between there is a gap. Okay, like how I have explained in the previous slide, it is not like this. So in between each time slot there is a gap in time interval for beginning of the next slot. So that is just to achieve the synchronization, and also in case if there is any propagation delay, so that can be managed by using these guard times. So similarly, you can just go with the difference between TDM and TDMA. Don't get confused. TDM stands for multiplexing with respect to multiplexing. TDMA, it is with respect to accessing the media or channel. So next, very important, and this is commonly used in current cellular network, whatever we are using mobile phone no, to connect to the network. So in that cellular network, they have used this CDMA. CDMA stands for Code Division Multiple Access. Code Division. C stands for Code Division Multiple Access. So here CDMA simply means of communication with a different codes. So I can just take one analogy, try to understand. I am going to take an analogy that in a party hall, consider there is a party hall and there are different people uh, different people or get together over there. In that case, consider there are people from different states or different countries. Okay, consider there are some people from Kerala. Okay, consider there are two persons from Kerala. So what they'll do, they'll start talking in Malayalam. Okay, only those two persons who knows that language they can understand. Okay, other person if they don't know, they cannot understand what is the data or what is the communication is going on. Okay, or if there are two person from other country. Okay, uh, anything you can just take any example. Mm. So here what is the important thing is, So whoever knowing that language can only understand what is the data is exchanging. Okay, if the person don't know that language, they cannot understand. In the same manner, so this CDMA is implemented. So whichever the device want to exchange the data, so those two devices will be knowing the code. Accordingly, it can access the data and decode it. Okay, so let's see how this CDMA is implemented. CDMA differs from TDMA. It is not similar to that. It is totally different from TDMA or FDMA. So how it is different from FDMA? So only one channel occupies the entire bandwidth of the link. In case of CDMA, FDMA, we know that the bandwidth of the channel is divided into different frequencies. But in case of CDMA, so it is not going to happen. There will be a just single channel with a complete bandwidth. CDMA differs from TDMA how all stations can send data simultaneously. In case of TDMA, only during that time slot the device is allowed to send the data. Okay, but in CDMA all the stations simultaneously, there is a single channel, at the same time all the devices can send the data. Okay, here we are not using any technique of FDMA or TDMA. So all the stations, it can start send the data simultaneously, and there is no time sharing, there is no time slot or frequency division method. Then how it is implemented? If all the stations are sending the data, how it can be decoded? I told now itself in a party hall. Okay, if the two person if they want to talk, so they should be knowing the language each other. Okay, so this person should know the Malayalam and this person should know the Malayalam. Then only they can communicate. And who are there, the other persons? Okay, so they may not understand if they don't know the language. So that's enough. No, these two person want to communicate and they know the language or the code how to exchange the information. This is a concept used in a CDMA, and other people they don't come to know that what is the information it is exchanging. It is implemented. So now we'll consider the same diagram, that is there are 4 stations connected to the same channel. This is the diagram. This is a common channel. See, diagrams are very important. I want you people to and go through the diagram properly. Okay. So if you have any queries, you can just stop me in between. This is the common channel. Okay. How many stations are connected to this channel? Just focus on to the what I am telling. So station 1, station 2, station 3 and station 4. Okay, so 4 devices are connected to the channel. That's all. So now we'll move on to how data exchange takes place. I told in CDMA the data is transmitted simultaneously by all the device. If that is the case, at the receiving end, how the data is decoded? You may get a question that how data is decoded at the receiving end. So we'll just check that. So here it is going to use a technique called coding mechanism. Okay, the name itself tells code division multiple access. It is going to use a coding mechanism. So each device or each station, it takes its own data represented with the D1. Okay, for station 2, it is represented with D2, and station 3 D3, and station 4 D4. Okay, now everybody should be clear with the data of each station. Okay, D2, D3. So now along with this data, this station is going to send the code. Okay, it is not going to just send the data, it is going to multiply this data with the code. Okay, the code for station 1 it is represented with C1, code for D2 it is represented with C2, and here C3, and for station 4 it is represented with C4. C1, C2, C3, and this is for station 4 and it is represented with C4. Data is multiplied with the code, and whatever the data now we are going to get D1 C1, D2 C2, D3 C3, D4 C4, everything is combined. Okay, everything is combined and it is sent as a data through the channel. You can just observe in the channel. So D1 C1 plus D2 C2 plus D3 C3 and plus D4 C4. This is the data from station 1. This is data from station 2, this is from 3, and this is from 4. Okay, did you understood? This is simple diagram. We'll solve one problem, that is to indicate. Consider now station 1 is sending D1 C1 this data to station 2. How station is going to decode once it receives this data? How it is going to extract the data D1 that is sent by the station 1? Yes, no, the question arises how it is going to decode. So there are some technique to be used to extract the data whatever it is received from the CDMA channel. Okay, so for that you need to know some of the like operations, like how we have discussed in CRC. To know the how to perform the CRC for polynomial, you should know the polynomial operation. Similarly here you need to know about the basic operations that is going to happen with respect to the data and the code. Okay, so here station 1 multiplies the data code by D1 C1. Okay, so this I have already explained in the diagram. So each station it takes its own data and multiply with the code. So what is the code? Okay, how to choose this code I will be talking at the later. Okay, just remember it is some value. Okay, so you are going to get the output like this. So this is the data, complete data from 4 station, and it is going to send in the channel data along with the code. So now at the receiver side, how it should be decoded? The receiver multiplies the data on the channel by the code of the sender. Okay, very important. Remember, the receiver multiplies the data on the channel by code of the sender. Example here, station 2 want to know what is the data. Consider what is the data the station 1 is sent. So for that what it has to do? So it has to take this complete data. It should be multiplied with the code of station 1. To know the data of what is the data sent by station 1, it has to be multiplied with the code of the station 1, that is C1. So this complete data should be multiplied with C1. Okay, so that is the first step for decoding the data. Next, okay, so here I have just considered the station 1 and 2 are talking each other, or these two stations are exchanging the data. So now station 2 want to hear what station 1 is saying. Okay, what it is saying or what is the data it is sent. The station 2 multiplies the data on the channel by the code of station 1. What is the code of station 1? It is C1. Okay, C1 should be multiplied with the data that what you have seen on the channel. This is the data. Okay, this is the data, complete data. Okay, this complete data should be multiplied with code of station 1. If station 2 want to know what is the data sent by station 1, it should multiply with the code of the station 1. Next, so now how to simplify after multiplying it? So station 1, in case if it is getting the code C1, when you are multiplying, you will come across with these all possible expressions, that is C1 into C1. So you need to, whenever if it is multiplying same code, the value you need to represent is to be represented is 4. Whenever if you are multiplying two different code, okay, this is for same code. Okay, so if it is same code, so you are going to get the value 4, and if it is different code, okay, the value is represented with 0. Okay, so therefore station 2 divides the result by 4. At last, after doing all this operation, so the total result whatever you are going to get, okay, so it should be multiplied, sorry, it should be divided by 4. So here 4 indicates the 4 number of stations, 4. Okay, to get the actual data that is sent by the station 1. Okay, don't get confused. Let me just take the same example whatever it is given in the diagram. Okay, so this is the complete data that is coming through the channel. Now in case if station 2 want to know what is the data sent by station 1, it has to divide with the code of station 1. Okay, how to do that? You can just write the data here. Okay, this is the complete data that is present in the channel, multiply with the code of C1. So now C1 into this first term, C1 into this first term, you are going to get D1, C1, C1 plus C1 into D2, C2, okay, plus C1 into D3, C3 plus C1 into D4 into C4. Okay, you are going to get this expression. Now wherever you are going to get same codes in the terms, okay, you need to represent it as 4. Okay, so in case if the terms, if it is having the different codes, you need to represent it as 0. You can just check it. So here you can find same terms. That means you need to write it as d1 into 4, this is into, okay, plus d2 into different code, this is going to be 0, plus d3 different code, it is also 0, plus d4 into different code, it is 0. So totally you are going to get 4 into d1. So now to know what is the actual data sent by the station 1, so this whatever the result we got, that should be divided by 4. Okay, then it is going to get the data that is sent by the station 1. Is it clear? Do you have any queries here? Quickly. Yes. Did you understood? Ashish, can you respond?
Yes, ma'am.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. What about others? So you should be knowing this technique. When you multiply two same code, okay, two same code, the value should be represented as 4. If it is different code, whatever may be the combination, so directly you can write it as 0. Okay, that is the technique used. So here we have a, just a minute. Okay, so now we'll just focus on codes. How to choose these codes? Okay, I have just used the term C1, C2, C3. But what is this C1? What is the value you are going to choose? What is the technique for choosing this code? Okay, it is not should be a some random number. There should be some technique. Okay, what is the technique? We'll just try to discuss in detail now. Okay, in the exam if they ask, first try to write this part. What is CDMA? Okay, explain how it works, and this diagram is must. And you can just give one example for that, like how this, in case if a particular station want to know the other device what it is sent. So this is a procedure you need to explain. Okay. Now we'll just move on to chips. That is about knowing more about the codes, how code is chosen, what is the techniques. So here there is a separate subject called coding theory. Okay, so using this concept, it is possible to choose the codes. So those codes we call it as a chips. Okay, so chips, that is CDMA is based on coding theory. So coding theory, it is one type of technique. So that using the technique you are able to find these chips. So chips are nothing but codes. Okay, so each station is assigned a code which is sequence of numbers called chips. Can you see C1? I just use the term C1, but what is there in C1? You can just observe here. Okay, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. Okay, and in C2 plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1. Okay, it should not be the same code. Okay, so all the stations should have a different code. Then only it can able to exchange the data. Otherwise, it is not possible. Then code of C4, that is, this can be allocated to station 4. +1 -1 -1 +1. I will just tell you how I got all this chip sequence. Okay, so this is considered chip sequence allocated for each of the device. Okay, this is one code and this is the second, third, fourth. So these sequences were carefully selected. So carefully selected, just underline this term, carefully selected, because we have a standard mechanism to select these codes. So these codes are called orthogonal sequences. These codes are called orthogonal sequences. These sequences have the following properties. You should know the properties. Okay. So each sequence is made of n elements. Okay, n elements. So here n is equal to 4, that is 4 stations. How many number of stations are connected to that channel? If there are 50 channels or 50 stations are connected, then you should have 50 sequence of numbers in the each chip. Okay, so each sequence is made of n elements, where n is the number of stations, where n is the number of stations. So in the example we have taken 4 stations, so that's why here n is equal to 4. I have only 4 codes, okay, 4 chip sequence in each of the code. So multiplication of sequence by scalar, if we multiply, remember this point, okay, if you multiply sequence by number, okay, you can multiply by number, any number. Okay, consider this is the chip sequence. I have taken +1 +1 -1 -1. This code, if you multiply with any number, you are going to get the same element as the chip code. Okay, is it clear? So every element in the sequence is multiplied by that element as usual. So you are going to multiply 2 with each of these elements, and whatever the result you are going to get, that you can represent it as a code. That is one property. So next we'll move on to the product. How to find the product of two chips or two codes. So inner product of two equal sequence. In case equal sequence means same code. If you are multiplying, this is C1, this is also C1. We have already discussed. I told now, when you multiply same code, you are going to get the value 4. That's what I am just trying to prove here. And if you are multiplying different codes, the value should be represented 0. Let's see one example for that. So here I have a sequence +1 +1 -1 -1. The same sequence I have written here. And when you multiply each term with this code, okay, at last you will be able to get the value 4. Okay, you just simplify, try to multiply each of these elements, or you can directly write it. When you are multiplying two same code, the answer is going to be 4. Then inner product of two different sequences. If you multiply two different sequences, you are going to get the result as 0. Okay, so this is one sequence and this is different sequence. So you try to multiply. Take this +1, multiply with this all elements, okay, and write it. Take the second element and write it. Are you getting? So if you are doing like that, whatever the result at last you are going to get, no, so that should be equal to 0 if both the codes are different. In case if you want to add the elements, two sequence elements, then you can just corresponding element should be added. Okay, I have, this is one sequence, another sequence. Just take the first element of this sequence, added with this first element of the second sequence. 1 + 1, you are going to get 2. 1 + 1, again 2. -1 + 1, cancel each other. Okay, -1 + 1, cancel each other. So you are going to write 0 0 here. Okay, so this is about the some information about the chips. That is how to get the codes. Next, we'll take one example quickly. I want to finish this. So data representation, how to represent the data. Now I am just taking the actual value, because in the example previous diagram I have just taken D1 C1, okay, D2 C2, D3 C3, D4 C4. Now instead of this, we'll try to take the actual value. Consider station 1 want to send the data bit, okay. If it is want to send value 0, okay, data bit if it is 0, so that should be represented with -1. If the data bit it want to share or it want to transmit, if it is 1, it should be represented with +1. If we don't want to send any data, that is called silence. Okay. So if we don't want to send any data, it is represented with 0. Okay. So we'll take this example. Just observe carefully. This example is very, very important. You can quickly go to the diagram. So there are 4 devices connected, and each device is assigned with a code. Okay, this is one chip sequence, and this should not be allocated to any of other device. Then this is the second sequence, this is third sequence of code, and fourth one. Now what is the data the station 1 want to send? It is bit 0, and station 2 also want to send the data bit 0. Station 3 don't want to send any data. Okay, station 2 don't want 3 don't want to send any data, so that's why it is data is represented with 0. Okay, similarly station 4 want to send data bit 1. So in this case, if this is a case, how exactly CDMA it is going to calculate the data to be transmitted. So let's see. Just now, what is the second step? First step is you find what is the data to be sent. Okay, and you need to represent that in terms of D1, that is 0 is represented with -1, bit 0 is represented with -1. If it is nothing to be transmitted, 0. If it is the device want to send bit 1, just represent with +1. So now the device is ready with the data. Now allocate a code for each of the station. So how many station? 4 station. There should be 4 different codes. This is C1, and this is C2, and this is C3 and C4. Okay. So now what is the next step? It has to multiply this data and chip sequence. Okay, or the code. So -1 into -1, you are going to get -1. So D1 into C1 you have to do. This is D1. Okay, this is D2. This is D4, and this is D3. Okay, multiply this D3 with C3. So C1 into D1. So what you are going to get? So -1 into +1, almost you are going to get all -1. Similarly, -1 into this chip sequence, minus into +1, minus into +1, minus into +1, minus into minus. Okay, you are going to get this data from station 2. Similarly, station 4, similarly station 3. Okay, so now it is going to add all this data. It is going to add all the 4 data that is sent by 4 stations, and that is transmitted through the common channel. So now this is the added result. How you are going to add? Now I told how to add 2 sequences. So take the first element of this code, that is -1, -1, that is -2. Okay, so +0, just you can write -2 +0, okay, +1. So you are going to get the result of this is -1. Just write it here. Similarly, take the second element from here, that is -1. Second element from here, -1. Then second element from here. Okay, just add these corresponding elements. So next take -3, -3, -3. Okay, so you are going to get -1, -1, you are going to get -3. Similarly, -1, +1, +1. Okay, so that is +2, -1, you are going to get +1. So this is the actual data you are going to transmit in the media. Okay. So now this is the data that is coming through the channel. Now consider station 2 want to know what is the data sent by station 1. In case if it want to know what is the data sent by station 1. So what it has to do? So now it has to write this data, that is -1, -1, -3 +1 multiplied with code C1, code of station 1. Okay, you need to take code of this, okay, multiply with this. Okay, whatever the result you are going to get here, it should be the value 0. Okay, you should get the value 0. You just try to multiply. So this complete total data into the code of the first device. In case if it want to know the fourth device, then you just take C4 here, multiply, and you will be getting the corresponding result. And for station 4, okay, so station 4 is station 2 want to know what is the data sent by station 4, multiply with C4, and at last you should be able to get value 1. So it is very similar to the whatever the process I have explained with respect to the general diagram. Okay, so here I have explained no, the technique, the same thing. Okay, so here I have just used a term instead of terms. There you need to use the, you just try to multiply. So this C1 with all the elements, each of the elements, C1 into the first term, C2 first, second term, C1 third term, C1 fourth term. Okay, and wherever you are going to get different codes, just immediately write it 0. If it is same code, write it value 4. Okay, and at last the value should be divided by 4, and whatever the result you are going to get, no, so that is the actual data sent by the that particular device. Okay, so this is one, I think it's getting late. So this is the technique used for finding the codes, okay, chip sequence, that is called Walsh table. So that is two-dimensional matrix, okay, where it will represent equal number of rows and